Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Books Podcast with your host, Gloria and Rogan. And today we're excited to dive into a special book with you. We've picked this one because it has some really important lessons to share, and we can't wait to talk about them. So let's get started.
Ready to unlock some serious knowledge? You handed us Raj Shamani's Build, Don't Talk, and we're about to extract the pure gold for you, especially on how those so-called weaknesses, they're actually entrepreneurial strengths waiting to happen.
What's fascinating about Shamani, he's not about some cookie-cutter success recipe. It's this embracing of individuality, those quirks, the flaws society says to hide.
Which he dives right into, that whole Dubai meme from school. Funny story, but it makes a point.
Totally. See, instead of dodging it, he owned it, reclaiming the narrative. Even mockery can be a starting point if you reframe failure, right? So many entrepreneurs, at first, they're told, crazy idea, won't work. But the ones who make it, they saw potential where others didn't.
He owned it. Powerful lesson. But it went beyond talk. He used that to fuel his journey, didn't he?
Absolutely. The dishwashing liquid business, it wasn't because he's some chem whiz with tons of cash. He was broke, needed a solution, Not waiting for perfect circumstances, but what can I do now, with what I have? That's huge for anyone starting, especially content creation. So easy to compare yourself. Oh, they've got bigger budgets, a whole team.
That comparison trap's a killer, especially building an audience online. But Shamani reminds us, resourcefulness often beats out just having resources.
Totally. He's all about knowing your strengths and where you need help, which is where stealing like an entrepreneur comes in.
A little shocking at first, gotta say, but he doesn't mean plagiarism, right?
No way. Think of it like this. New content creator. Instead of reinventing the wheel, say, with video format, they look at what works in their niche, what's engaging, take those elements, add their unique spin, their expertise. It's building on solid ground, not starting from scratch endlessly.
So stealing is more like smart inspiration. Leverage what works, make it your own.
Precisely. Every field, filmmaking, physics, whatever, it builds on what's already there. No need to reinvent the wheel, but gotta study its mechanics before you can modify it effectively,
It's like he's giving you permission to be good at something, really own it, which leads right into that whole one thing idea, right? Finding that skill, that passion, you can build a whole business around.
Yeah, he goes deep on this, gives you actual steps to pinpoint those strengths, even if you feel kind of, average at everything. It's easy to look at those guru types online. They seem to have it all figured out. But Shamani's like, embrace the journey, even the messy bits, the not perfect parts.
So refreshing, seriously. Online, it's all curated perfection, but being real, embracing the average days. That's how you connect deeper with an audience, right? Not pretending to have all the answers, but being on that same journey.
Builds trust, too, which matters when you're trying to, make a living from your content, which I know you're all about. Shamani talks about building multiple income streams from one skill. Starts with knowing what you're good at, then how to add value for others.
Like how he gradually upped his prices as the demand grew. Not being greedy, but recognizing his worth, the value he brought.
Exactly. You get more skilled, more in demand. Your pricing reflects that growth. It's natural.
Speaking of skills, that negotiation chapter, man, that grabbed me. Not just closing deals, but how those principles apply to everyday stuff,
Totally. He's big on understanding the other person's side, finding that common ground, whether it's asking for a raise, collaborating, even those tricky talks with family friends.
It's communicating clearly, listening, not just waiting to talk, but finding that win-win works for everyone.
Exactly. And one thing that stuck with me, never say your price first. Let them anchor the negotiation, Understand their expectations, then you tailor your approach.
It's like a game changer, that idea. And it made me think, especially in content creation, you're putting yourself out there constantly, growing that audience. It's easy to just crave advice from anyone, everyone. But Shamani, he throws a curveball at you on that one.
He really does. Almost like stop asking for advice flat out.
Which sounds crazy, right?
Yep.
Especially starting out, everyone's got an opinion on what you should be doing.
But think about it. Generic advice rarely fits your situation, your strengths, right? So instead of waiting for someone to tell you, Shamani's like, become the resource yourself, build relationships on value.
So less, what can I get? And more, what can I give? That's a mindset shift right there.
Totally. He talks about landing his TEDx talk, not by begging, but by seeing what they needed, how he could provide value first.
He saw a need, filled it, and boom, doors open.
Exactly. Building genuine connections, showing up consistently, but with something to offer, right?
Mm.
Connecting people who need to know each other, sharing your actual expertise, even just encouragement, support, those little
And
things.
that generosity, that
Yeah.
giving without what's in it for me, that builds the relationships, personal, professional, the whole deal. So, wrapping up this Build, Don't Talk deep dive, we got to ask, what unique value can you bring to your field, your passion? What can you offer right now?
Possibilities are endless, but it starts with that shift from what can I get to what can I give.
Love it. And if this resonated even a little, check out Build, Don't Talk by Raj Shamani. It's packed with even more of this good stuff. Practical advice, inspiring stories, helps you unlock that potential. Until next time, keep building, keep giving, and never be afraid to embrace your own unique journey.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to dive into more book insights, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're back every Sunday at 9 a.m. with new books and more to learn from. Until next time, take care and keep learning, keep growing.